Okay, hello. Welcome back to another video. Gonna hop straight into it. So, tomorrow I am meeting with my psychiatrist, therapist, whatever you want to call it, and I want to go over with you what my expectations are when I talk to my psychiatrist tomorrow, and what we usually do, like when we have our sessions, and what you can expect if you decide to go start seeking help for your mental health. Anyway, so usually what we do, our sessions are an hour long. We have done them once a week, and we have done them as many as twice a week, every week. In like the heights of like my depression episodes, and in the heights, where I really needed more support. And yeah, so typically what we do is she usually starts the session off by asking me how my week was. And then I'll go in to tell her about how my week was and some of the thoughts that I had. One of the things that I usually do, if I usually write down events that happen to me throughout the week when they happen. This is actually something that I learned while I was trying to become more self-aware of the things that I'm doing, like when I'm having an episode and I take that step back to think about what it is that I'm saying to myself, what it is that I'm doing. And I also take the moments to write down how I'm feeling in that moment and what I said to myself, and I write that on my notes section on my phone, so that way when our sessions come up, I can have a description of exactly how I was feeling, so we could better, um, solve the problem, or so that we can better understand what was going on in that time. So that would be something that I would recommend to you guys, whoever may be watching this, is to write down what you're feeling in the time that you're feeling it. And this way, when you come back to it later, you can actually try and resolve it in case it happens again. You can already pre plan for it. So that's typically what I do. I'll go over my notes for what we did in the past week, or what I went through in the past week. Whether that was romantic troubles, whether it was a goal oriented thing that I failed at, that I took a lot harder than I thought I would, or if something just hit out of the blue. Um, and then we would go through that. Typically, what happens is I'll tell her what it was, and then she'll start breaking down what it is that she thinks that I should do to, counteract it or to cope with it better. And in some cases, there is no answer. And the only way to get through it is to just let it out. And sometimes we do actually just talk. And there is no, okay, well, this is what happened. This is what you need to do. It's literally just, hey, you need to get this out and you need to talk. And that's what helps me. It may be different for you, and that's fine. That's perfectly fine. The thing is, we just need to get these things out and figure out what works for you, because everybody is different. Every brain is different. Everybody thinks differently. Uh, it's truly amazing, the power that the mind has on the human. And it's been an experience. So after we go through that, and she gives her feedback, we usually go back and forth. And it is important that when you do talk to your therapist, that there's a good dialogue and that there's a good conversation between you talking and your therapist talking. Because while it is good to vent and while it is good to talk and ramble, this, that, and the other, you need to listen to what they're saying. And they also need to hear you. So I think what my therapist and I have worked out is we've worked out a good balance of me talking about my problems and then her giving me feedback. And then me giving her feedback off of what she said, and to really understand that you're grasping the concept um of what's going on in your life, because the whole session is about you, okay? And it's about helping you to continue to go forward in life. and to continue to improve and to continue to use these tools to help deal with whatever mental hurdle that you're going through. So keep that in mind when you do your sessions. Once again, I've said this before, your therapist should be trying to work their way out of your life. They shouldn't be trying to just stay there forever. Because if they're doing that, then that's not right. And you'll know if they're giving you tools to help manage this stuff on your own. If they're not giving you any tools and they're just listening to you complain about something every session that you have, and it's been 2 months and you haven't seen any improvements, or you haven't had any, I wouldn't say haven't seen any improvements because it's going to take a lot of time. But you can evaluate this by what tools has my therapist given me to help deal with this on my own, because they're not going to be there when it's the hardest. And that's what's important. So like I said, what I do with my therapist, we have a good dialogue going back and forth between me telling her what's wrong and with her giving me feedback and what she thinks may help, and her opening up the floor to maybe if I don't understand, or if I think it's helpful, or if I agree or disagree with it. Those are conversations you need to have with your therapist. They're not going to be able to help you if you're not being transparent. Even if you disagree with something, then you need to let them know. And I've let my therapist know before. There's some things I don't agree on that she may say, but there are a lot of things that that she does get right, and that's why I've been seeing my therapist for the better part of 2 years now, and it's wonderful. So tomorrow when I go in and I have my session with her, I will discuss some of the notes that I've written, and I will explain to her what tools I used in this past week to help get me through my hurdles, and we will discuss what I can continue to do or what new things that I can try to help either prevent these things from happening or to help better manage it. So, yeah. And I just want to throw this, I want to end on this note. I don't want to make these videos too long, but one of the other things that I've learned when it comes to doing these sessions with seeing these therapists is that I really try to take something from every session, and I use these sessions to be my accountability piece. So if you're one of those people in the world that needs somebody to hold you accountable, a therapist is a good way, because you have to set a date to meet this person. You set a hard time to meet this person to discuss something, and it's kind of like having like homework, and it's kind of like my time to be accountable. Like, okay, well, this is what I've done since the last time we saw each other. And it's a good way if you're someone like me that needs somebody to hold you accountable, but you may not have like friends or family that'll do it for you. Your therapist is kind of that person that can indirectly do that for you, because I see my therapist once every week, every 2 weeks, sometimes once a month, but it's still a time that I can get together and discuss where I was to where I am now. And even if you're discussing your personal goals, where you want to be at, it's those small increments that add up. So keep that in mind. If you're one of those people that needs somebody to hold you accountable, or you need somebody to kind of be like your checkpoints, therapy is a good way of doing that. So I'm going to end on that note. Thank you for watching, and then I will let me know if this helped you at all, and I'll see you in the next video. I'll probably talk about how my session went. Thanks.